morning, but I'm not the only one over on a ghost adventure. Evan O'Regan, our meteorologist, is out about downtown El Paso trying to hunt for some ghosts himself.
Yeah, so we're actually here at Dave's Pawn Shop, a haunted pawn shop here in downtown El Paso. I have a very special guest with me joining here this morning, Heather Shade, the author of the book Weird Texas. How are you on this Halloween morning?
A little bit cold, but happy to be here.
Yeah, it is a little chilly out here. It's still a bit spooky as well. Some spooky vibes definitely here on El Paso Street. So what can you tell me about Dave's Pawn Shop? Because it is haunted, is it not?
Yes, we have been told that there are various types of activity here, such as what I would categorize more poltergeist activity, items moving around, stuff like that.
Wow, so very interesting. And actually, in an effort to maybe even capture some of that activity, we have a couple of equipments, a couple of devices set up here, one of which is a REM pod. I don't know if you guys can see that behind me. If there is any activity here, it has to get very, very close. So if it's not motion detected, if I walk by it, it won't go off at all. If I wave my hand around it, it won't go off at all. I have to get very close, and it'll light up like that. So if something does try and say hello to us and walk up to us, it has to get that close to us. So we'll keep an eye on that throughout our show. We'll set that up in multiple locations as well to see if it does do anything like that. So I also have to ask, I meant to ask this before actually, so what exactly do you do? I know that you are also involved in paranormal hunting, I guess, right?
Yes, I'm the founder of Lost El Paso Paranormal. We do historic-based tours all over the city, but we also specialize in paranormal history and weird history, I guess you could say.
All right, well, we've been learning more about that paranormal and weird history throughout our show. Is that forecast looking a little bit weird today? The answer actually maybe a little bit yes, because we are very chilly.
It's time to check in with Evan O'Regan, who is becoming a ghost hunter this morning. Maybe he'll be featured on Sci-Fi.
Remember last time, in our last location at Dave's. Remember last time we were at Dave's Pawn Shop. Now we're standing outside Hotel Paso del Norte. And remember our REM pod? I had to basically almost touch the antenna for it to go off. Look what's happening right now. There is something messing with our equipment and is very interested in it. It's been going off for almost probably over 5 minutes at this point, and it's been very interested in what we have going on here. And I have to say, Heather, you were just telling me a little bit earlier about something that happened right here. So do we have a theory on what might be going on here?
Well, as I was mentioning, this is known as, in our history, this is a spot where Dallas Studemeyer, who was one of our constables in the late 1800s, actually did meet his end right around here in this area during a violent fight. So, you know, that could be contributing to this spike in energy that we're seeing here behind us, for sure.
Yeah, like I said, we literally have to go up and basically touch that antenna for it to really change all the lights on there. And it has been very interested in this. It's been going off for almost over 5 minutes now, and it's still going. They're still making a noise, but it seems to have maybe moved away a little bit. We've tried talking to it to maybe see what its name is or why it's interested in our equipment, but definitely very interesting. Now, there is actually another story here from Hotel Paso del Norte. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Right, and that is a phenomenon that's been happening here for quite a few years, and that's where people tend to see, I guess you could call it a phantom jumper, either falling or jumping from this building. However, when authorities respond to those calls, they never do find anything. So it is a mystery as to what is causing that phenomenon.
Wow, speaking of mysterious things, now it has officially moved away. There's a little noise coming back to it, but we're going to keep a very close eye on that REM pod and see how long it starts to interact with it. So, in the meantime, let's take a look at our forecast for Spooky Day for Halloween. Yeah, so now we're actually just a stone's throw away from Hotel Paso del Norte, right outside the Plaza Theater. Now, our REM pod is not going off like it was outside the hotel. We'll be back at the hotel in a little while, in the next hour of our show. So we'll keep you updated and see if we can get that entity that was maybe messing with our equipment to return and give us maybe its name or something similar to that. So now we're outside the Plaza Theater. So Heather, what has happened here and why is this building deemed haunted?
The interesting thing about the Plaza Theater is it has like a myriad of ghosts. Not just one apparition that's seen, but there's a whole collection of them. I can tell you my favorite one is something that we call the smoking ghost. It is a ghost of a gentleman that actually passed away up on one of the balconies smoking a cigarette, and to this day, sometimes security sees that cigarette cherry glowing up there in the night when no one's up there.
Interesting. So that is actually very cool, and I'm very interested to see. Maybe we can see some smoke being blown from the top of the building. So can you tell me a little bit about maybe the other spirits that are living here, if you have any knowledge on their whereabouts or why that they're still here?
Well, we have been told of the spirit of a little girl that plays in the building, and you can see her going across the stage or down the stairs bouncing a rubber ball. There's also another gentleman, a heavyset gentleman in a tuxedo, down in the basement level. They do believe that he might be related to a guest that had a heart attack in that area and passed away. So like I said, the other interesting thing about this place as well is there are multiple celebrities that have had paranormal experiences here, such as Tony Bennett, Billy Ray Cyrus, and so forth. So that's pretty cool too.
Wow, that is very interesting. Maybe we'll have something like that happen here on our show today. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, let's take a look at our forecast for today. We are starting out spookily cold as temperatures are still at or below the freezing mark across. Yeah, so we're here at San Jacinto Plaza right now. We're just setting up our REM pod behind us. And Heather, I'm sure that there is a story or two. Actually, look at that. Look. It's going off right now. Something's touching that right now. We just set that up, and it was perfectly fine. We just got here literally 30 seconds ago, and it is now going off. Something is touching that antenna. It is now steady green light. Remember, we were just at the Plaza Theater, and nothing was touching. It was a red light. Now it's like moving around, trying to figure out what's going on. That's really wild. This is live, people. Like, this is happening right now. We are not messing with this. I'm standing about 10 feet away from that REM pod, and something is touching that. So Heather, what has happened here? What could possibly be touching that?
Well, one of the infamous things that happened at this site is there was unsolved murder that happened in the early 1900s during a president's visit. During the visit of President Taft, there was actually a murder that occurred right here in the placita where a young teenager was stabbed to death and no one saw anything. And it is a mystery to this day how that happened. So we do believe that has deposited some energies here, some maybe darker or more paranormal energies that can be felt here in the plaza.
Interesting. Well, something is very interesting in it. Look at that thing. It's going crazy right now, flashing from green to blue to yellow. So something is definitely messing with our equipment. I actually have here, I forgot I had this in my pocket, I have an EMF reader. So this can also pick up electromagnetic energy, which spirits are supposed to be able to give off. So I'm actually going to walk a little bit closer and see if this goes off at all. So right now it's green, nothing picking up on it. So we get a little bit closer. Nothing seems to be happening right now, but something is definitely messing with our REM pod. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that and see what other locations we can possibly pick up some activity as we go forward in our show. But let's take a look now at our forecast for Halloween. So now we're standing outside the DeSoto Hotel here in downtown El Paso. This place is definitely one of the, should I say, darker haunted places around the El Paso area. So we've actually had multiple paranormal investigative crews come over to this place, including, if you guys have ever seen the show Ghost Adventures with Zach Bagans and Aaron Goodwin, that crew has been here before and they've experienced quite a lot of activity. So maybe we could get a little bit of activity. Right now our REM pod is staying stagnant. We've also set up a recording device up by the door to see if we can get any voices, any disembodied voices that might show up on that recording device. So Heather, what can you tell me about the history of the DeSoto Hotel here in El Paso?
The interesting thing about the DeSoto, as you mentioned, it does have that darker energy, that reputation for darker energy. This is a place where people have been scratched, pushed, and things of that nature. So it's a little bit more of a, I would say, dangerous environment to work with. And also it does have that bit of infamy as well, because this was one time the temporary home of Night Stalker, serial killer Richard Ramirez himself as well. I'm sure that adds to the dark energy that's here for sure as well.
Yeah, definitely sure of that. So we'll actually be coming back here at the top of the hour from another live shots from the DeSoto Hotel. So maybe we can see some activity. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, I want to give you a quick look at your forecast for trick-or-treating tonight.
Happy Halloween to everyone. We have a special edition of CBS4 Mornings. My co-anchor, Vina Casillo, and meteorologist Evan O'Regan are both out in the field with some tricks and treats up their sleeves for you. But first, we're going to send things over to our resident meteorologist, Evan O'Regan, for a quick check on your forecast. Evan.
Yeah, it is definitely bone. Out here. Speaking of chilling things, I want to show you this really quick. Last time we were here, that REM pod was not doing anything. It is going berserk now. So there is definitely some activity here at the DeSoto Hotel. We'll check back in with you in just a little bit. But first, I do want to show you that forecast for today. We're sitting in the 30s right now here in El Paso, 38 degrees at El Paso International as of the latest reading. Still 28 up.
Football season here.
Yes, we're right here at the DeSoto Hotel. By the way, I just want to give you a quick update. Our REM pod is still going off.
Great weather. Exactly, yes.
Right now. And again, when we were first here, it was not doing anything at all.
Good, but we also had a bunch of meaningful games that are coming up this week and
very close sports
and a huge district matchup in our red zone game.
So something is definitely messing with that. And Heather, we all noticed something the last time we were here, or a few minutes ago. And we all mentioned it. I didn't want to say anything, but we all noticed a smell. So what exactly was that smell like, and what could possibly be causing that?
Well, shortly after this started to go off, we all started to, at the same time, notice a very distinct, pungent smell, kind of a smell of rotten egg, and, the smell of sulfur. Sulfur, paranormally, can be associated with darker energies or maybe demonic energies, so that's why it's interesting that we got that particular experience right here at this place.
Yeah, so definitely very interesting. Can you tell me a little bit about why that may be the case? Why are we smelling that? Why does this hotel have such a history of maybe dealing with some of that more negative energy?
Well, to be honest, that's a bit of a mystery, but if you do watch that Ghost Adventures episode that you referenced earlier, and you follow what they're doing, they do go down into the basement, and they were able to uncover kind of a remains of sort of a ritualistic some kind of happening that was going on down there on the diagrams on the floor, candle wax and such. That could very well stir up some darker energies if you're messing with something like that.
Very interesting. So hopefully we don't see anything that's dark here, but still dealing with that REM pod. You can see how it's changing colors, so something is still trying to figure out exactly what that REM pod is. And I want to mention really quickly, we're standing right next to the Reagan also. So can you tell me a little bit about the connection between the DeSoto Hotel and the Reagan? Because there actually is a bit of a connection there.
Right, and recently we had heard some stories from employees about seeing figures passing in between the walls from the Reagan towards the DeSoto and back again. So we've been doing some research into that, into the origins of the building, and we're able to find out a little bit about it that might explain what's happening.
Very, very interesting. So a lot of activity so far. We'll keep an eye on that REM pod, and we'll also be moving locations in a little bit here. So we'll have to see if that REM pod can still pick up. Oh, look, it just went away. It just stopped. So something has now decided to move away. Very, very interesting. So again, we'll keep an eye on that REM pod throughout the show. This has been quite the active morning here. So let's take a look now at your forecast for Halloween. Still very chilly in terms of what we're starting. Yes. All right, well, another start in. All right, guys, so now we've moved to a new location, Bassett Tower here in downtown El Paso. I want to give you a look at, actually, I want to talk about what happened back at Dave's pawn shop. We were getting some really intelligent feedback. We were asking whatever spirit was messing with our REM pod. It was messing with our REM pod when we first got there back from the DeSoto Hotel. And we were telling it to make it go to the yellow color on our REM pod. And it actually did. We were even getting spikes on the device I'm having here. the EMF detector, and right now it's staying fairly quiet, but we were getting also spikes up to the yellow color. And there we go, another spike up to the yellow right here at Bassett Tower. So I'm going to ask if this particular entity that's messing with this REM pod right now, can you possibly make that REM pod go to the yellow color? It's trying to. It likes the green color. It was saying solid green as we were coming to us live here. So it's trying, but it doesn't seem like it's able to. But like I said, at Dave's pawn shop, we were getting some really good spikes in our EMF detector, as well as some really intelligent, I guess, quote unquote, feedback on our REM pod. So Heather, can you tell us a little about the history of Bassett Tower and what might be causing that? What kind of spirits may be in our presence right now?
Well, Bassett Tower is one of our most obviously beautiful and historic buildings, but it has been known for paranormal activity and hauntings for quite some years. We have actually investigated the building ourselves, and we're able to get all kind of responses like you're seeing here as well. So we do believe there is some kind of paranormal energy contained in this building.
Wow. Okay, so yeah, it just turned to a solid green. By the way, I did forget something that happened over at Dave's pawn shop. We were supposed to have a live shot there. The thing that prevented us from doing that is that my microphone died. Literally right as we were about to go on, and we were ready, everything was good, we were getting activity. The activity on the REM pod stopped, and then my microphone died. How about that? But now, let's switch gears over to our forecast, because that is something also that could be a little bit spooky out there if you're not accustomed to the cold weather. So it's still new with the freeze warnings across much of the area. Everywhere highlighted in blue is under that freeze warning until All right, so now we're standing out John Wesley Harding. This is one of the most haunted places that we've been to so far. And look at this. I just asked it right before we went on to go to blue on our REM pod, and it is. Right now, we're also getting really good spikes on our EMF detector like we have not seen so far this morning. It is showing up blue right now. Okay, I'm going to ask you something else. Can you make it go to green now instead of blue? Can we go back to green? You were showing us green before. It's trying to. Can we? Oh, look at that! Oh, wow! Okay, I have chills now. That was really cool. Okay, can you try and make it go to red now, the other side? To the. Are you serious? But get out of here. Can you go to? Okay, can you go to red, please? I know that you're on green. Can you go to red? Can you go back to red? Let's see if it does it. It's. Oh my. Wow. This is wild. Okay. Can you go to red for me? Right in the middle. It's trying to. Okay, well, while it tries to go back to red, Heather, can you tell me a little bit about why this place is so haunted?
Yes, you are standing at the location of the historic Acme Saloon where the notorious gunslinger John Wesley Harding was shot dead right here by Constable John Selman. So a very notorious place and, you know, pretty haunted.
Wow, okay, so it is trying to go back to red. It's flaking up to red on my EMF detector. It was just now. Now it's at yellow, back to orange. So, okay, let's see if we can ask it one more question before I go into my weather here. Can we have it go to blue one more time for us before I say goodbye? Can we go to blue? Look at that! Look at that! That is unbelievable. I have goosebumps now. That is unbelievable footage that we're getting right there. So yeah, seriously, thank you for making my morning. Live TV, folks. This is not recorded. This is live, 110%. So now, let's transition from that crazy stuff to our forecast for later today. So starting out in the 30s, quite chilly.
That is not true, Evan. You're going to send things over to me. Well, that has been our Halloween edition of CBS4 Mornings. On behalf of myself, Vanya, and Evan, we hope you enjoyed our spooky-filled show this morning, and I hope everyone has a happy and safe Halloween. Thanks so much for tuning in to CBS4 Mornings. For updates throughout the day, check out CBS4Local.com. We'll see you right back here at 12 for a normal edition of CBS4 at noon.